You gonna go? Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, you all. Happy, magnificent, or miraculous Monday, whichever one you want to deem it as. We
Yeah,
are excited because we are here with you again on a series. Ariel, would you call this a series?
that's what I've been calling it, a series. A
The F series,
series.
the Mother F series.
I've just been calling it a mother discussion series. I didn't really know what to call it actually, but I was like, well, I guess we can just call it like a mother discussion. I'm not really sure.
Well, okay. We have been on a discussion about legacy.
Yes.
And it just so happens that it did fall around the time, which we did not plan it, of Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? So we really made it specific to mothers. But you all, here we are again. Here we are again. Here we are again. Good evening, Shanika, Denise,
Yeah.
all of you all who are watching, Tamika, Marquita, Gail. I'm just going to call out some women's names: Mary, Jacqueline. You know what I'm saying? Keisha, Kaiser. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing on this Monday? You all tag another sister. As I
Yeah.
was calling out names, go ahead and tag a woman, a mother, because I'm still on a high based upon the fact that we did just celebrate Mother's Day. And I usually don't be into it, Ariel, like I kind of was into it this year. You know what I'm saying?
You were into it this year.
Yeah, I was.
You ain't do nothing.
That's why I was into it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't but I don't typically do anything. But the reality of it is seriously, just to be with you and Allison together, not only just as my daughters and I'm your mother, but to be with you all together, seeing you all both develop into beautiful women. And I don't even know what all I may have contributed to that, but I know that I did. But at the end of the day, just to be in your midst and hadn't been like that for a while, because either I'm with you or either I go see her, and stuff like that. But now we're all here in Georgia, and I just know it's a new beginning.
Well, that was a great kickoff. I mean, yeah, that is true. I think I don't know what we do every year, but I do know or recall that I don't remember. And that to me is, I'm serious, like, I don't remember. And so that to me, it signifies that I need to start doing things to really, no, I need to start doing things to be more memorable and be intentional about creating
Yeah,
memories.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
And
and and
so,
and creating memories are key for I believe, and you all correct me if I'm wrong, all y'all mothers out there with adult children. Hello there, Tanisha, Akiba, all of you all. But with adult children, I just think when you all get to a certain point, Kelly, creating memories are beautiful.
yeah.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful. And that's what we did. We created a memory.
Yes, yes, we
Mhm,
did. And I mean, I think too, even something like this, even though it
mhm,
happened to be around Mother's Day, and I know
mhm,
we have such a big community in
mhm.
not, I can't assume that everybody in our community is mothers,
Yeah,
but I do
yeah.
know that if you are in our community, you should be learning or at least embracing the understanding of mothering,
Mhm,
right? Or
mhm,
just the
mhm,
power of mother or the power
mhm,
of woman
mhm.
as we are really empowering, our dunamis woman community. Same thing with Black and Married with Kids.
Yes.
This is why we're saying, okay, well, BMWK is, right now we're really focused on Black moms with kids, right?
Yeah,
Even though
yeah,
we're really
yeah,
Black married with
yeah,
kids.
yeah. And Father's
But
Day will be black men with kids.
yes, and so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're really kind of spreading our perspective and our mindset. And
Hmm.
for those who are new and you have never seen us before, I'm sorry. I'm Ariel. This is Pastor D, and we are the co-owners of Dunamis Woman Enterprise and also Black and Married with Kids. And for this series of mothers, we're really kind of merging together both of our powerful communities to really empower women and empower particularly mothers, but even if you aren't a mother,
Hmm. Hmm.
right, naturally, at the end of the day, I think it's still important
Yeah,
to be a part of these
yeah,
conversations.
yeah.
And, yesterday for Mother's Day, I saw someone um, make two statements, but it was particularly one person. I think it was Kerry Washington. and she was talking about someone embracing their mothering in the season because she was sick and she couldn't be with her, daughter. But she was like, some of us are really. She was empowering a lot of her
Followers.
not her followers, her friends who were featured in
Mhm.
movies. And she
Mhm.
was like, I'm staying at home because I'm sick and I'm watching, their movies. But she was like, I want to really just empower those who in this season may not be natural mothers, but they're mothering their creativity, they're
Yeah.
mothering their passions, they're mothering their gifts. And I made a post that I kind of took it down because like people be offended. But I was like, right now I'm mothering my 3 laptops, okay? Michaela, Makai, and Mackenzie. And those are my 3
Don't
little.
tell nobody that on no live. Don't tell nobody that no more. I'm telling you, you got a name for all 3 of them.
Yes, my 3 Macs.
Let me see something. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all, you actually name your 3 Max, and I
Yes.
prophesy that you will have 3 daughters that you will name them. What's their
No,
name again?
Mackenzie is the oldest. It's really Mac Kinsey, right? She's the oldest. And then you have Michaela, and she is the second born. So Mackenzie got kicked out the bed because Mackenzie was big and she was
Dr.
super
V,
me.
don't you, Venus Richardson, don't you sanction us? Venus,
And
don't you
then
do it. Venus,
Makai,
don't you do it.
Makai is the last one. That's the iMac desktop, right? And so those are like who I mother. Look, someone touched my laptop, you would see a whole different side of me. Okay, I would shoot across the table if I think that thing is about to touch the floor. Okay, y'all spelling it wrong. All right, it's MAC. But she said that's her daughter's name. See,
That's your daughter's name.
yes.
Ariel, you need a life. I'm going
Okay,
to pray for
well,
you. This is why we are having a revival, how to pray and war for your legacy, because you all get more ill in your mind more than anything. Does that make
this
sense?
is why Carrie was saying those in the season who is mothering their creativity, mothering their passions, mothering their gifts, mothering their talents. I felt honored by her honoring me for Mother's Day. I'm just saying. And she said support other women who are
Just as she carried on me, she don't need Jesus either.
support other women who are fulfilling.
How many kids does Kerry Washington have?
I think she has 1 daughter, but she's an
She needs
actress.
Jesus.
And so
That's
she was saying how when you are creative and you're putting yourself out there into the world, people are constantly attacking you, like today, and making you feel like you are, they're attacking you. You're putting your life out on the line. You're putting your soul out on the line. You're putting even us, we're being transparent about our lives. We don't have to be transparent, but we're using our charisma. We're using our creativity. We're using our gifts, our talents. We're using our mind, and we're putting that out into the world. And so she was saying the importance of supporting people that because you're mothering Dunamis Woman, you're mothering this place. And if I'm not, or someone is not supporting you in that process, you could feel like, there's sometimes I feel like, I know we're going to get into it, but sometimes like I feel like I'm failing Dunamis Woman, or I'm failing BMWK, or I'm failing this because it's
and
my little baby right
and with you saying that brings us into our topic. Because now I wasn't feeling like a failure as a mother, but now I'm trying not to feel like a failure as a mother. I promise you, I'm like, what the hell did I just do? You know what I'm saying? You got literally named. Somebody said on here, I forgot who it was. You need a life. No, she doesn't. She got too much time on her hands. She don't have enough time on her hands. You see, they laptops. You see what I'm saying? All of them is where she work. You know what I mean?
they
You
get a
need
break
some
on stuff.
time on your hands.
Anywho, to the real topic for tonight, all right? How to not feel like a failure as a mother. If
Oh
anyone
my
out
God.
here feels me, okay, just stay tuned and keep listening. But my whole point of that was commending those who do not have natural children for staying on this journey with us, because I do commend you all.
No, I
But
do get it. I do get it. But you're not lying. Something happened to her laptops. She's really gonna go off the deep end, seriously. But I'm just making fun of it because I'm warring, I'm praying. Uh, all that stuff is going to shift. You will have a life, you know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised you end up pregnant with triplets, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna name them that 3 girls. Don't and I want sons from you. But at the end of the day,
hey, I'll name them. So with this, because there are mothers who are really dealing with how to feel, feeling like a failure, in some area, and I can't remember exactly what you were saying in the video that we posted about this
Mhm,
topic,
mhm,
but
mhm,
I do want to really speak because sometimes when and I'm just using my insight, you birth a child and you have in your mind all of these things that you envision or see for
mhm,
this child to
mhm,
become.
mhm,
And although God has his hand on each child in the life and the journey, I believe that as mothers, you all are unfolding and figuring this out as we grow, as we evolve, as we get older. And
mhm.
sometimes things and decisions and dreams of what you see, or what you saw isn't happening in the reality. And
Yeah.
so oftentimes you could feel like, man, did I fail in certain areas? Because now my children are older and they're telling me, about my past and how I raised them. They're
Mhm,
telling me about, how they feel about their childhood. They're revealing some things to me. Or most importantly, they may not be saying anything and I don't have a relationship and I feel like I
mhm.
failed in some area.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of women are saying, yes, I feel like I'm feeling like a mother often, Marielle and, some other people that are on here. So really, I mean, let's dive into that because you were singing earlier, there is no failure in God, right?
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm just looking at the comments. Some of them say they felt like a failure, with their son. They feel like a failure now. One person I saw said that they did not, which is cool, and everything like that. And I don't feel like one, but I really want to know a little bit more in depth. And if you all could put it up there, ladies, um, I know we could say we feel like this, we feel like that. I don't feel like this, I don't feel like that. But what leads you not to feeling like a failure or make you feel like a failure? If you just give it in one word, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um, just I want some inkling on that because it amazes me how, and I go back to it, Ariel. I can't help it, but it just goes back to how the enemy plays with our mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Um, and we'll be surprised how we thinking it's some of our thoughts, but it's really him playing with our mind based upon the damaged places in our emotions.
Yeah.
And to us, it's real. And so now the enemy is thriving off of those feelings that are false. You know what I'm saying? Because as I state, everyone, I did the best that I could. Somebody said I did my best as a mother with what I was taught. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
did the best as a mother of what I was not taught. I did the best as a mother for what I saw. I did the best as a mother for what I did not receive, but I wanted to have it for myself. So I gave it to you all. You see what I'm saying? I did the best that I can, as I stated before, with the cards that was dealt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not even knowing if I was needed to play bid, if I needed to play spades, if I needed to play tonk, if I needed to play Uno. I didn't know. But I do know that I did the best that I could. So one person said, not able to provide for your family.
Yeah.
I did all that I knew to do. Sometimes, sometimes my son's thought process made you feel that way. Felt like a failure because they put my kids through some struggles. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um, that's real. But I believe firmly that the struggles was necessary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe the struggles is necessary. The disrespect that I get from them. You know what I'm saying? Some of those things you just did not know how to lay a foundation. You know what I'm saying? But you fought. And it's a difference with fighting with a firm foundation or as opposed to just fighting with a foundation of which you just knew you did the best that you could. So we all have our own dynamics, but at the end of the day, do not feel like a failure. Don't feel like a failure. Let me ask you all this question. As long as they're breathing, you did the best you could. And if they're no longer breathing, you did the best you could. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we all have to encourage ourselves, you all. I think, Marielle, the purpose of this discussion right now is for us to do like David did. Encourage yourself in the Lord.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Encourage yourself.
I,
Everybody put on here, I did my best.
yeah. And I think really, whether it is a financial, whether it is some things that, we experience, maybe it's abuse, maybe it's just not the best education, upbringing, whatever the case may be. I think oftentimes, one thing I had to learn, and I say I think, one thing that I had to accept, oftentimes, I don't know if you ever felt like you failed me in an area as a mother, but I do know that you can have parents who do feel like that. And one thing I had to really grasp and understand as I got older was that there is an assignment on my life to a greater magnitude that you aren't aware of and fully aware of, and my father isn't fully aware of.
Mhm.
And I always have to think about there's a remnant or a place that God wants to position me. And everybody has life experiences or goes through certain things for a cause. And to me, no, you didn't ask to have your financial situations. You didn't ask to, really have certain ailments or whatever the case may be. Everyone's going through life. None of us asked for this life. But I do believe that children are birthed for a reason. And just like us, like how you said in the first discussion, why was I conceived? We're all conceived for a greater purpose beyond just being parented, beyond just, family dynamics. I'm a mother or I'm a daughter or whatever the case be. We all have a greater purpose. And for me, I feel like I had to go through what I had to go through for whoever God wants to use me for and call me for. And you couldn't avoid that even if you wanted to, because he
Yeah.
kind of already knew, not kind of, he already knew this is what I need Ariel Fuller to endure. This is what I
Mhm.
need to be a part of
Mhm.
her
Mhm.
life for who
Mhm.
I have called her to be. And I think sometimes the failure can sometimes make us believe that we could have avoided something that God may have really destined for our greater good. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Does that make sense to you all? Let me know if it makes sense. It makes sense to me. Let me know if it makes sense to you all. But I'm gonna speak from a mothering standpoint. I didn't say being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
You are put in the category of being a mother when you birth a child. But there's a difference between having being a mother because you birthed versus mothering. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
And the mothering means, first of all, I have to take my own responsibilities in my own life. And whatever I have to go through, I'm going through it that you can grow greater.
Mm-hmm.
Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yeah.
So even when my business is shut down, I didn't have any money. Remember that Christmas, Ariel? Matter of fact, it was about 2 or 3 or 4 Christmases that I wasn't able to get you all anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Me and your stepfather wasn't able to get you anything, nothing. And you wrote this letter, you took some pictures, you wrapped up gifts, you made it yourself. Do you
Mm-hmm.
recall that?
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I'm saying? That was for, I mean, and I remember like yesterday because I wept like a baby. Because at that point, it let me know that I never failed, but it let me see what I put inside of you that money could never buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you wrote you got a piece of paper and you wrote a note, put our picture in it, you wrapped it up as a gift. Instead of always trying to purchase something, you went down within your heart and you created something, because really that's what it was all about, is what can I give from my heart, and not can I give from my tangible, what can I give from my working hard, what can I give from me laboring. And although I was not able to give you all anything as a 17, 18, 19-year-old young lady, you all came together and you made something from
Mm-hmm.
your heart. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think that we as mothers have put so much inside of you based upon our sacrifices. And even when we come to a point of our own struggle, come to a point of our own lack, come to a point of our own divorce, come to the point of our own transition of whatever we got to go through, we do not take the time to see what's in you
Yeah.
to give to us, because we're also so ready trying to give to you all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense, y'all?
Yeah. And you know, that's actually interesting. I don't remember. I mean, I remember that, but I only thing I could kind of remember was I don't know what Christmas it was. I feel like I knew you like wigs. So I bought you like a little $30 something wig or whatever. And I remember doing what we call it, scavenger hunt, and everyone
Yeah.
had to find their gift somewhere, but it was like really low dollar. I mean, I think what you're talking about was Walgreens, 60 cents for the picture, a Dollar Tree for the frame. It was a
Yeah.
$1.60 type of gift, but it was the most thoughtful thing. And allowing that, because you know, we see you all struggle. We see where you are lacking in a certain area, but like you said, it was the mothering, it was the impartation that was, you know, needed and that was given, that rejuvenates. And I think sometimes, especially in this generation, we're looking at so much of the tangible things that can be given instead of what is in me that I really have the ability to impart unto my child, from a wisdom, from a nurturing, from a mothering standpoint, which is why here at Dunamis Woman, we're really focused on the woman and building the woman up to really think, not just do, but really, how do I be? How do I embody? How do I really embrace who I actually am on a deeper level? And that could be done at 3, that could be done at 10, that could be done at 25, that could be done at 40 with your
Mhm.
children. It doesn't matter the age that they are. I think once you understand, okay, what's in me to from a mothering standpoint, I got to find that place in my heart and stop looking at the failure and actually looking at, okay, what do I have to give? What do I have to nurture? That, like you said, it's not tangible. It lasts for a lifetime.
I think that we all have to shift our mindset. Um, First of all, nobody promised none of us anything. See, that's my mindset. God didn't promise me that life would be hunky dory all the time. Matter
Mm-hmm.
of fact, it says in His Word, trials come to make you stronger. So oftentimes when the trials come to make us stronger, we're still trying to fight the trial, and it makes us weaker.
Mm-hmm.
I found my greatest strength in my trial. I
Mm-hmm.
found my greatest strength in my tribulation. And I'm not going to apologize for going through that, for me, that I could be a better mother for you. Because when you go through your trial and tribulation, I can't whine with you. I got to encourage you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But you know what? I think in some areas, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you really tried to overcompensate with us.
Well, I'm a kind of a different breed. You
Well, I
know.
know, and I'm looking at a comment when someone said, well, sometimes as a young age, they don't understand the sacrifices. And sometimes when you overcompensate or you put yourself at a pressure of, I had to fulfill something, instead of me not understanding the sacrifices because of the type of mother that you were and you didn't overcompensate, sometimes you put us in failure circumstances on purpose for the fact of us understanding life in general. So it wasn't like, oh, okay, we're struggling and I don't understand it. You made us understand it by purposely putting us in it. So
Intentionally.
intentionally, because you weren't trying to hide some of those things. Now, given, we didn't have we didn't live in a impoverished environment growing up, but you never made us feel like we were privileged either.
Nope, because I reminded you that that wasn't your house, it was my house.
Correct.
I'm letting you stay there.
And you reminded us that the heat bill had to be paid, and if it wasn't paid, there was no such thing as a hot shower. So
But remember when I let the hot water get cut off intentionally?
on purpose.
On purpose.
On
I don't have
purpose.
to, I don't have for life to come and let me feel something. I'm gonna let you feel it myself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, which is
Remember,
why.
I think Allison still need therapy now. Remember, I went and I got the government milk and the government cheese, and you had to put the water in the milk.
The powder milk. She said the powder milk. Yeah,
The
I just
powdered milk, yeah. I mean, y'all know that powdered milk. I didn't do that because I didn't have. I did that intentionally, but I did it also because I remember when my mother was struggling and she never apologized when she had to go get the powdered milk, and I had to fry the bologna that was from the government bologna. It was the best bologna sandwiches because it was crisp on the ends. So she never apologized when the gas was cut off in the city of Chicago below zero weather, and she taught us how to get the hot plate and put it in the kitchen and put the blanket over there so the heat warm the heat can stay in from one hot plate, and she had 4 kids in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had to boil the water on the hot plate in a pot and run and go put it in the bathroom and make sure it was a little bit of hot water, a little bit of cold water, wash my tail, get myself out. People ask me today, how do you do all what you do, Pastor D? I do it because of that foundation right there. She never felt like a failure. She taught me how to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
She taught me how to fight. You don't complain, you fight.
Yeah. And that's why I was pointing that out, because we only typically feel like failures when we're trying and trying and trying and trying and overcompensating and achieving, and then we feel like it's never good enough.
But let me tell you why. And I'm gonna tell all y'all why that happens. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who it's applicable to. And if you got younger kids, teenagers, or whatever, take notes. If your kids are older, be gone, because they'll come back once they figure out some stuff. Does that make sense? But I'm gonna tell you why. It's because when we are younger, because there is no perfect mother.
Mm-hmm.
And something about her or happened to her or in her life or something you didn't like, and you had a distaste within you about her, about the woman. And some of you said, just like I did in certain areas, I'll never be like her in that area. So even what I did, I made a covenant agreement. I'll never have my gas cut off. I never have my lights cut off. Does that make sense? And at the end of the day, I worked like a dog, but then I got to a point after you all got grown that God broke me down to the common denominator of a covenant agreement that I made. Many of us have made a covenant agreement, or in our subconscious, we have a distaste for what we saw our mother did or did not do. And you said, I will not go through that. I will not be like that. I will not do this. I will not do that. And now when you're going through your process for God to break you, you feel like a failure.
Yeah. Yeah. But so let me ask you, in that process, that you had to go through, especially when you moved from Chicago to Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
and the divorce took place, the business, went under, you left me and Allison, in Chicago, and I don't even know if you even prepared us for your transition. Now that I think about it, I'm not even sure.
I ain't prepare y'all for nothing like that. That's my life. That ain't yours.
Yeah, like I really don't even know if I mean, you said you were leaving, but I don't even really recall the memory of seeing you get in a car and go. Like, I really don't. I don't know the day it happened. I don't know if you could bring that to my memories, but
You know why? You know why? Because y'all selfish asses didn't even help me pack.
was it selfish or did you not ask?
Selfish. Because some things a mother don't have to ask.
I don't even remember you going.
Because you wasn't a part of that process.
So that's what I'm saying. Like in life,
Because you, and it's nothing wrong with it. You were still in your place, in your space of where your life was. And that's why we cannot feel like a failure, because at the end of the day, y'all gonna do what y'all want to do. Y'all gonna do when y'all want to do it. Y'all ain't gonna ask us no questions. When we going through something, y'all gonna still have your life, find your life, and it's okay.
I mean, and maybe Allison can test, but I don't even remember you literally sitting down. And when I'm serious, like really shocking our consciousness to say, hey, you all, I'm leaving. Like, I don't even remember that process happening.
Because I think that what I was going through was a part of my process, became a part
Yeah.
of your process. And I told you all because I left you right there in the house. But I
Yeah,
ain't
I
sitting there
knew
like,
that we had to go, but I don't remember you literally saying this is where I'm going. Like, and maybe I'm just foggy because, like you said, we were probably in our own world and
I
doing
think
our own
I
thing.
thought you was in shock. I thought you, because it happened so fast.
Yeah, but I would say I
Mm.
don't remember. But my point in asking that was when you did transition,
Mhm.
and we were young adults. We were grown, but we were still young adults. And we're still young adults. But we're like 18, 19, or 20s. We were something like that, 23, 24. In that silent time, when you were processing a lot of stuff, did you ever feel? Yeah, Allison said you told us, but you didn't like sit us down and really tell us. Did you ever feel like you failed us in some area, or were you just really tending to the woman to get you back or to process some things?
Well, at that point, first of all, to answer your question, no, I didn't feel like a failure because, as you stated, you all was 21, 22, 23, and my sentiments are, you're going to do what you want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
if I was not moving, if I was moving, if I was staying, no matter where I was, one thing I realized as a mother, when you do what you want to do, you don't come and ask me.
Mm-hmm.
The first day you had sex, you didn't say, "Mom, can I go have sex? Can I go do this?" You made your choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for parents, what we do is, when y'all make y'all choice, and you want to come put the consequences on us. And I don't do that. When you make it, if I let you make your choice, I make my choice. It's a symbiotic relationship. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now we're moving forward. Now, did I feel like a failure as a mother? No. Was I in a whirlwind as a wife who was going through a separation slash divorce? I sure was. Was I fighting in a ministry? I sure was. Does that make sense? So
Mm-hmm.
I had to really find me again, because I firmly believe, if the woman, as I stated on the first time, if the woman is not whole, the mother ain't gonna be worth a damn. The wife, whenever I meet somebody else, ain't gonna be worth a damn. The pastor ain't gonna be worth a damn. And we just always trying to do something on fumes, and we never take the time to step back and develop who we really are. And that would be, for me, the woman. Or if it was a man talking, it would be the man, because God didn't make me a mother. I became one based upon my choice.
Now, this goes to a point where someone put in the comments. They said that's right. They feel like their world is more important than what's going on with their parents. And oftentimes, I want to speak to this. Oftentimes, parents do feel like they are a failure because their kids are not involved with their parents' life. They're not calling every day and overly involved. And so some parents feel like, oh, well, you're not coming to see me every day. Oh, you're not calling me every day. Am I a failure? What's your perspective on where should young adult children their focus be? Should they, you're saying, okay, as parents, we shouldn't be all up in your butt because you in your world, but as children, should we be all up in y'all world? Because some people are feeling like they're a failure just because their kids are living life, because their kids are traveling, because their kids are creating families, because their kids are doing this, and maybe their kids aren't calling them every day, maybe their kids aren't texting them every day. I don't know if that's a rule book, I'm not sure, but I do know that some parents really sit because they gave their life so much to their children and it's wrapped up in their children, that now when their children aren't calling them, it's like, did I fail you in some way? Did I do something wrong in some way? And sometimes it's not the case. So I want to speak to that, because some parents feel like a failure because they wrapped up in their own world and
So
really want their kids to be their world when their kids are trying to discover the world.
I think somebody said it on here, that a lot of parents do a lot of overcompensation.
Mm-hmm.
And whether they're 2, whether they're 5, whether they're 15, whether they're 25, whether they're 35 or 45, you could still, because that's your son or your daughter, you could overcompensate. Does that make sense? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people who are married have more of an intimate relationship with their kids, more so when they're with their spouse. They will, a lot of kids dictate what should be happening, and I don't comprehend it. That's just not me. Parents listen to kids more than listen to their mate. And if they don't have a mate, they have made their child their mate.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it goes back to what I was saying yesterday or day before. I'm not sitting there just making you all my mate. You have a place in my life. Okay, it's called a position.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
God has positioned me as your mother. We're not peers, and you're not my intimate partner. Does that make sense?
Right. Right.
And now I have to remind myself, I don't have to remind myself, but I always know this is my position. Even now, I can have fun with you and Allison and Ariel and or you Ariel, you right here. We go kick it. I all I gotta do is just cut her eye. Allison was like, Ma, sorry. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have to check them. You see what I'm saying? You all know your boundaries. You know how far to go. Does that make sense? You know you don't have to talk to me every day, but you know where your level of respect is. And if you don't call and respect me, Ariel, the thing is, don't call me when you need something. If
Right.
you ain't gonna call, don't call. And I
Right.
ain't either. Because I do know if you can't respect my position enough in your life and you don't have a husband and something out there happened to you, figure the shit out. Don't if you can't call me to say, hey ma, I love you, don't call me when you get into a problem. Don't call me when you get into trouble. Don't call me. Because
Yeah.
it goes both ways. Does that make sense? And you all know I mean it. So guess what you do? Even you don't call me every day, and I don't need you to call me every day. But when you call me, I know that you need me.
Right. Right.
Genuinely. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it's laying the foundation of respecting the position, but not inflicting that anger or inflicting that bitterness. Like, well, if you can't call me every day, then don't call me in a crisis, because it's not. I think it all looks at what it, like you said, what is the position, and how have you reared your child to respect not only your position but respecting their position as well, and not getting in your feelings because, like you said, you created an intimate mate or relationship, expecting that child to tend to avoid that. Really, at the end of the day, if they're exploring life, if they're exploring maybe being a new
Or,
husband, maybe being a new
especially
mom.
when you all get married, I promise you, you better not call me every day, and you better. That's your focus. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Can you call and check on me? Sure. If you need me, I'm there. I'm a part of your life. But ain't no way in the hell you gonna go run the streets with me and you're gonna ignore your husband. As your mother, is for me to teach you how to be a wife.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's for me to teach you, not for me to cling to you. It's for me
Yeah.
to teach you. You
Yeah.
ain't if you and him get into it, you don't call me tell my mom I'm coming over. And no the hell you ain't. You're gonna stay there and work it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think sometimes we get more involved, particularly based upon your choices. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
So
so we make ourselves feel like a failure when that's not really who we are. We just got to know how to manage. We should have typed this how to manage your life as a mother.
mm,
If I was to change it, it would be how to manage. How do I manage my life as a mother? You get in some stuff, you will find your way out.
yeah.
That's where my prayer and my warfare come in. I ain't say I'm sitting there gloating. I ain't say, but I promise you I ain't in fear because I'm in faith.
Yeah.
And when you get to a certain point, you stop talking. Because
Yeah.
when I go into warfare, just like the enemy don't want you to know what's going on, I don't want the enemy to know what's going on. I'm wise as a serpent, but I'm harmless as a dove. I think we as mothers talk too much. I ain't gonna say, I'm gonna listen to you and I'm gonna pray and I'm gonna war and watch the move of God in your life.
So in as we come to a close, I want to hit, and maybe you already touched upon this, but I want to make sure I hit a many mother, because failure could come in so many ways. So another word for failure that most people don't think about, and this is why, yes, I'm glad you put the link up there. You know, May 24th to 26th, you're really going to teach mothers, women, how to pray and war for their legacy, because that's where we're really going hard. Y'all saying, man, this discussion series is enlightening. Just imagine a Dunamis Woman revival, a 3-day power pack revival of teaching how to pray and war for our legacies. So if you haven't signed up for the free revival, if you haven't sent it to another woman, another mother, go and sign up for free at DunamisWomanRevival.com. The doors are finally open. We kick off May 24th. So do not forget, don't hesitate. Sign up now and text that link. Y'all can screenshot it on your phone and text it to somebody else and say, hey, just screenshot our picture. Matter of fact, say smile, say cheese. Do your screenshot right now, okay? Y'all screenshotting, and y'all text that to a whole bunch of women and say, you need to hear from these two, all right? Join me on this revival. Just screenshot it and post it and text it, right? You all see the photo, you see the link. Take a screenshot right now and post one more time. There you go, okay? Screenshot it and take it. But we're doing these discussion series leading up to the revival because these are things that really hinder us or mothers in their emotions. And let me say this, when we come in a revival, it's game time. We're really coming in and you're teaching how to pray and war for my legacy. So we're using this time to get all of that feeling of fears and failure and my faith is lacking and all these different things, the frustration. We're using this time to get all that shit up out of us.
Get it all out.
Because you can't bring that all the way onto revival and how to war and pray for your legacy. So we want to come and shut down a lot of that stuff now so that when we're teaching, you're not in the teaching talking about something, but I'm a failure. And I don't want to hear none of the F's. I don't want to hear failure. I don't want to hear fear. I don't want to hear frustration. I don't want to hear I lack faith. I don't want to hear none of that. So if you got to go back and watch the replay.
And I don't want to hear F it either. Because many mothers just say, F it.
Forget it. I'm done. And I want us to clean a lot of that stuff out because if you really want to pray and war for your legacy, it's time, like you say, to put your big girl panties on. And we gonna, like you said, I did the best that I could, but now I'm about to do the even better best that I possibly can in this season to war and fight for my legacy and not live in the past of regret. And that's actually what I'm about to go into, because failure can also be replaced with a lot of regrets. Where we say, man, I regret the fact that I didn't let them be with their father as a kid. I regret the fact that I maybe held some truths back from them. I regret all these regrets that you're holding on to makes you feel like a failure. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have let them go travel here. Maybe I should have let them go stay with their dad. Maybe I should have, and all these regrets.
But one thing I can say, Ariel, and I guess, for me, my mother, I ain't see none of that. And she raised 6 kids by herself. And I didn't see any of that. I didn't see her apologize. I didn't see her feel like a failure. All I saw was her fight. I just saw her fight. And even when the gas got cut off, she fought. She didn't cry, she fought. Even when we had the bologna and the government cheese, she made the best macaroni and cheese with it. You see what I'm saying? She fought. And she taught us how to fight. No regrets. You understand what I'm saying? And if she never left me, nor my siblings. She didn't leave us no housing. She didn't leave us no car. She didn't leave us no insurance policy. Her life, she was still fighting for her life as well. But I stepped in with her and I fought when she needed me for her. And I believe that this is where this revival is going, as us being revived, is because guess what? You got to be revived to fight for your legacy so they can learn how to step in and fight for you. Because you never know. So you understand what I'm saying? Because who am I not to give back to her? Who am I not to wipe her tail and change her depends? Who am I not to be able to take care of her when she took care of me? And many of us, she fought so I could fight. Does that make sense? And it's so many parents that are in the nursing home because they stopped fighting and their kids don't know how to fight because they stopped fighting. We can't stop fighting. Because my fight teaches my kids how to fight. My fight teaches my legacy how to fight. We'll never give up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So we can't live in regret. We can't live in failure. We can't live in fear. All we got to do, I want y'all to tell Bob hello. I guess y'all say, who is Bob?
Yeah.
I love Bob because Bob is one. I tell myself I did the best that I could. Oh, guess what? I am not going to overcompensate. I don't owe you nothing. Oh, no man, nothing but to love him. Ariel, I owe you nothing. Allison, I owe you nothing. I don't owe you nothing but to love you. And if I love you, I will pray. If I love you, I will war. And then I put the other B on there, which makes it Bob, is no matter what, I'm going to believe. I'm going to believe in me. I'm going to believe in you. I believe in my niece. I believe in my nephew. I ain't got nothing else but to believe. And when I believe, God makes every provision. Now, you might not believe because you sit up here sulking, but damn it, I believe.
Yeah.
I was just trying to encourage you. I believe so strong. Let's just fight, because if you see me fighting, you're going to come aboard. And if not, you're going to either do two things. Either you're going to get on board or you're going to get the hell away from me. And I'm okay with either one. I ain't nobody I go looking for. I ain't going to look for no ex-husband. I don't go look for no kids. I don't go look for none of. I remember when I told you you was in a one place of your lack of healing. And I don't remember that. And I told you, I said, Ariel, you was just like, thought that you was a little better and pious. You was just coming out of college. And I said, go watch the movie Imitation of Life. Remember that?
That was never me. I don't know why you put me all the way there.
Your kids, they can't see their own shit. They can't see it. As with a mother, I see your shit. And I said, imitation, and the whole point, how many of y'all remember the movie Imitations of Life? And the reason why I said that is because I was so okay with whatever was, because I knew that I was your mother. And if you got to come running behind the damn casket, Mama, I'm going to keep moving on. I'm keeping moving on till I get to the damn end of the cemetery. I ain't going to even get to the beginning. Bury my ass all the way out there. And many of us need to stop crying. Sometimes you feel like a failure and know you did the best you can. And if you just leave the service, she come, Mama, because she couldn't appreciate her, respect her, and love her while she was there, because she was still washing the clothes as a handmaid. And because she was a different shade of color, she thought she was better than her mother. Y'all better tell your kids to go watch The Imitation of Life. It was a nice casket too. Had a whole lot of flowers that the kids didn't give her, but she had respect in the community. Your kids might not respect you, but the community respect you. Your church respect you.
Yeah.
You got to be crying over no damn kids. I done did too much and worked too damn hard, but I'm going to still believe. I ain't going to never give up on you. And that's what praying and warring for your legacy is all about. I'll never give up on you. But you got to believe for yourself.
Yeah. And it makes me think, and the name of the movie is Imitation of Life. Yeah.
Imitation of Life. It's an old movie.
Yeah, old movie. If you tell your kid turn on, they're gonna be like, why she had me watching this? Why she had me watch this? So just tell them to scroll all the way to the end, and then they get the point. Just say get to the end, they get the point. But when you said, I fight for my legacy so they can fight for me.
Yeah.
It really made me think about, I guess another movie, but it really made me think about Overcomer, and how, you know, her father really wasn't present in her life, and there were so
Mhm.
many things that she was getting
Mhm.
into, but he still, you know, he turned his life back to Christ, and he
Mhm.
really was fighting, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
for her in the latter, and it turned into her also fighting for him at the same time. And so I really do believe that no matter what the background is, no matter what the past is, no matter
Yeah.
what the circumstances have been, you know, as you step up in your own self as a woman, and
Mhm.
you really stand up to say, I'm going to fight for my legacy, don't
Yeah.
look at the reality of what you see. Don't look at their anger of what you see. Don't look at their behaviors of what you see. Don't they hurting. They dealing with
Mhm.
life. They dealing with some
Mhm.
past. They got some bitterness. They got some regret. They got
Yeah.
some upsetness. They got some ill will. But don't look at any of that stuff. You look at you in your fight, and God will turn the heart of your
Mhm.
children to where it necessarily needs to be. So you got to focus on what you're doing. And that just makes me think about that movie, because she had so much anger. She was getting into so much behaviors, and she was dealing with her own stuff and the lies of the grandmother and all
Yeah.
different things that
Yeah.
came to infiltrate her mind. But he knew he had to fight for his daughter. He had to fight
Mhm.
for his legacy despite his past and his decisions. And God really did a work on her. And
Yeah.
so you got to really believe that you're not their God. Who you are is operating in the position as mother, and God has
Mhm.
given you that position and that authority in that place, which is what we're going to talk about in the revival. What is your position? What is your place? What is your authority that God has given you? And as you stand up in your fight and work on that
Yeah.
behalf, he has the souls of your children, and so you have to stay fortified on that. And that's why that Dunamis Revival is really going to position you, shift your mind, focus your mind. And those who are VIP and you've upgraded beyond the free to really get the spiritual warfare for my legacy, you know, workshop and strategies as war for sons, daughters, grandchildren. Come heavy, y'all. Don't, no excuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you want to be a part of the free revival, do it. I'm not knocking the night teachings and what we're going to do with the free revival. But
Mhm.
if you value,
Yeah.
if you say seriously, if I can look at all of what I've invested in my children, and you upgrade to that VIP for $27 to say, let me literally for 3 Power Pack days get some strategies to war for my son, war for my daughters, war for my grandchildren, upgrade to VIP and come on in. Someone said, I didn't see where to be VIP. If you check your confirmation email, if you signed up for the free revival, in the confirmation email, you see another opportunity where you could upgrade to VIP,
Mhm.
and I'll make sure I send out a text. But check your confirmation email if you signed up, because I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. And the ebook, How to Win the Fight for My Legacy, that you get for free when you upgrade to VIP. And I said that once we hit 500, I'm not going to give
Mhm.
away free anymore. So y'all got a little room. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
make sure that you come on in, because that's going to be so important. So yes, before we close, anything that you want to say before we close? Because I know tomorrow we're going to do our last discussion series topic.
Yeah.
Our last discussion series topic.
Well, I really want you all to encourage you. Come on back with us tomorrow because you've seen me here speaking. I was here with my daughters naturally. Ariel is my youngest natural daughter, but tomorrow I have a very special guest for you. And I'm excited because I have someone who's going to come who, when she first saw me, understand and recognized what she needed from a spiritual mother standpoint, and I have not been able to get rid of her as of yet. I'm not trying to, but at the end of the day, I do run a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But the point is that even though you do or may not have natural children, God still wants you to be used
Yeah.
in a realm spiritually. This is why fighting and warring is so important because it goes. I'm not here to replace her natural, but I'm here to stand with her natural. And
Yeah.
everybody, we need natural plus spiritual to equal supernatural. And the changes that I've seen in her life is just amazing. And she's a beautiful mother herself. So, you all, at the end of the day, we're all fighting.
Yeah.
So come on through because we're going to be talking about how to forgive as a mother, how to forgive that father, how to forgive. We don't want our souls to be in a state where we are warring and got all this unforgiveness or bitterness or resentment and
Right.
all this stuff silently, not just coercively, silently. And
Because
that's what the enemy finds. He said, he comes as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And a
yeah,
lot of us, I mean, my mother, may she rest in peace, she still has some old stuff in her soul from what happened with my daddy. And he had been gone on before her, and I was 50 something years old. We can carry some old stuff in our soul.
yeah.
But God want to empty us out. He want to empty us out. So it's going to be real. It's going to be live. Our last day tomorrow. Join us. Tell a friend. Come on through. Make this the best.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome for tomorrow, and especially because, some mothers have really been hurt by their children because of anger,
Mm-hmm.
because of their emotions, and now they are inflicting a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
pain. And so it is hard sometimes when your children have really said some things to you and it hurt you in a lot of ways that, needs to be forgiven. So tomorrow's going to be powerful. And that's going to officially begin our countdown. I think tomorrow's May the 16th. So then 17th, 7 days away from the revival. So get
Mm-hmm.
signed up. Someone did comment below, how do I get the promo to put your picture on it? That should have been in the confirmation, but I actually send out another email tomorrow with all these links. So if y'all sign up for the revival, just check your email and I'll make sure I send another one tomorrow where you can put your promo, you could text and invite another friend and post it on social media. Matter of fact, tag us on Instagram or tag us on Facebook so we can see that you signed up. Post it in the group
Yeah.
at the end of the day, but we want to see you there and send to another woman. Yes, you did get the ebook as soon as you signed up for VIP. So you should have got another email saying congratulations, and it will be in there. All right. But we love you all. We're going to see you all tomorrow. And then
Yes.
we're officially beginning the countdown up into the revival, how to pray and war for my legacy. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Yes. 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 Enjoy you all's evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night, ladies.
Good night.